9 AM and it's still -6. We're off to the toy fair. Eventually. You know, it's good when you got to scrape the ice off the inside of your window. Pays to get here early.
Yeah. Makes sense to me to do.
Well, an hour and a half later, the car park is quite full. There's a good turnout today. I was hoping the weather might deter some people, but a full complement of traders and punters. A lot more die cast as there was at the Christmas one, so whether that seems to be a vogue at the minute. So, wasn't very fruitful. The first trip round only turned me up these, which there weren't, well, very rare you actually see the Redland ones for anywhere other than on eBay. And a coal hopper. Got a little paint dribble there, but otherwise seems okay. They were under a table in a box, so they were easily missed, and you'd got to rummage through everything because they were all sitting upright, so not a very good way to sell things. But I had a rummage through, asked him how much they were, expecting to be, you know, 10, 15, 20 pounds each, because if you go on eBay, everyone seems to think these are worth £12.50, including some of the people today. And these are like 15, 18, 20, you name it, someone's asking that price for a box one. They normally come in a set of 3 or individual. So yeah, well, I mean, I paid 32 quid for 3 of these. Managed, he wouldn't come down to £15. I wasn't going to argue over a quid, so I got them for 16. So not too bad in today's market. But there was some more on another little trek round. The last bit was one of those sort of junky piles where it's, you know, any 3 packs for a tenner, 4 quid each. And I need some more of these. These are the plain sided ones where you stick the paper wrap on, which are the ones I want. Because obviously I'll stick some brick plasticard on them. So We've got them, obviously they're new in the pack. Another little Fenland truck, so I thought that was appropriate. Seems we're out in the fens, even though it's a little bit new for the period I'll be doing in the steam era, but there you are. Real one prevails. I bought it because I like it. And a little crane match truck, if my camera focuses. He had two, and then the crane somewhere else for £8, but there were sort of like bits missing. But I picked one of these up in a job lot with a slightly damaged crane. The spigot's broken off the middle, so the jib and everything doesn't sit on the truck, but obviously it's repairable with a screw and a nut and a washer. But it was missing a match truck. It's also missing one stabilizer when I rummaged through the box, so I managed to pick this up as well. So I should be able to repair it and have another crane. Not that I really need one, but it's either a pile of waste or something that's usable now I've added the missing bit. So that's it. I did do a little bit of filming, as you've seen, but not a lot, because I have to cart them pigging things around, so holding the camera and walking peg-legged is a bit awkward. So catch you on the next segment. I bought a job lot of sort of someone's loft clearance for 65 quid. Various Lima engines and unopened Tiger tank wagons and things. I sold all the bits I didn't want and made more money back than what I'd actually paid, so what I kept really didn't cost me anything, which that little Ren 08 that I done a video on is part of what came with that. And so did this. It's got 3 of the outriggers, so I'm missing one outrigger, and I was missing a match truck. But as you can see, the crane should be on the top of here. One side of the spigot lug has snapped off, so this won't stay on anymore, and it's also missing the little metal bar that attaches to the chain and allows it to raise the jib. There's also a couple of the spars missing out of the main jib, but it's not the end of the world. Probably someone got a bit carried away with something. It's not, I've never been particularly impressed with the way these are rigged, but I do like this off yellow weathered look much more than the red one. The red one looks like a toy completely and utterly. Then they done the red version with a little bit of it highlighted, which made it look a little bit better. This is a bit of a mishmash here period, I think, where we've gone to plastic couplings and the awful white wall wheels. It's missing one hook and the bit that the hook attaches to, but obviously that's not a major thing to replace, so I can probably make a stabilizer leg should I need one. So that should attach like that, and then obviously I'm missing a match truck, only now I'm not. So now, instead of having a pile of useless bits, we now have a pile of useless bits with an extra truck. So the idea is we've got the hole there, which has received a little bit of damage, but my idea is to obviously snap that lug off, drill through, and put a washer on the underside, a friction washer here for this to sit on, and then obviously the top of it and a washer through there, so that should hold it all back in place and give it enough friction to take the sloppiness out of it and give it a little bit of tension if you wanted to rotate it around and pose it. And then I just need to make the piece up here, which I can probably fold a bit of wire or something. Don't know whether a paper clip will be long enough. I'll have to dig my other one out. I've got a yellow one of these I sort of bought. I ended up with the red one, which was sort of like a mint, never been used in the box, and then a yellow one. I've got the Lima variant, the Hornby branded Lima variant, and the earlier LNER Lima variant. The Lima one I've got, which is just the crane and the jib runner, has actually got the pieces that attach to the front and back to give you a stabilizer, which none of the other variants have. And I've only ever seen one other model the same as that for sale on eBay. So whether it was something they came up with as a solution to having a crane that as soon as you turn it sideways it's going to tip over if you try and play with it or pose it with anything on it, and they added those on so you can retrofit it once you've got it in its scenic area that you're going to do. But I've never seen that accessory, and I'm surprised no one's actually 3D printed anything to add to the crane to make it actually usable, because the Lima crane really isn't much use. I also have a Rocco crane and the GUF cockerel, which was an old one still in the box. So there will be I've got a bit of a thing for the cranes. I haven't gone for the Bachmann one because you know, there's 3-figure sum, so that one will probably never be on the layout. So our first attempt at making whatever part you call it, I've done it deliberately slightly longer because the chain is a little bit shorter than it should be. Yeah, I've tried it and it does fit. So that's one part made. So as you can see, it is now reattached. The bolt was, and the screw was only just long enough to get through the double skin of the chassis, but we've been out with a packer, what you use on cabinets and windows and things. That's the only problem, is it's 3mm outer, but the inner side is not. But I basically cut one round to substitute the short one. And it does fit in, so just a case of colouring it. Well, in the finale, we have finished the bodgery. We even went to a black marker pen just to colour it in. Now, I did cut it to the same length as the original ones, but they do have like a little pin protrusion each side, so they won't go all the way back in. So that one, if you push it in, goes all the way back, so it looks like it's shorter than the others. But you know, at the end of the day, who cares? Unless another one of those turns up, but twin train fair or something, I'm not going to worry about it. If I get the mind to make something a bit better at another stage, I will do. But it performs its function and stops it toppling over. Having said that, I haven't pointed it in this direction, so we better put our money where our mouth is and give it a little test. So yeah, it's now a posable piece of railway, ain't ya? Just got to make a little cap up to cover in the old chimney pot. Might blank the back off and have it as a diesel conversion, but it's operational. That was the only target of the project, really. It works just like the working ones. Right, I've got more important things to do, like consume this beer.